Houston attorney Tony Busby has announced that he's filing a lawsuit against Diddy, accusing him of sexual misconduct involving over 100 minors.
We intend to name people in these lawsuits. We're not going to do it in interviews. We're not going to do it, without doing our due diligence, because obviously, these types of allegations are very hurtful to people if they're not true, and very hurtful, frankly, if they are true. If they're true, you shouldn't have been in the room. You shouldn't have been participating. So, I anticipate we're going to start filing lawsuits. It may not be big names at first, but we have a long list of names. You might imagine in situations like this, that when a victim tells us that this person was in the room or this person participated, we want to do as much due diligence as humanly possible before we file that case, because in the United States, in almost every state, public filings are in fact public, and if you name somebody in the lawsuit, the press is going to pick it up, and we're aware of it. So we're going to make sure that we dot our I's and cross our T's, and I expect that there will be some people named in these lawsuits that will raise some eyebrows.
Diddy has recently been named in at least 15 new lawsuits, some of which involve claims concerning minors. One of these lawsuits, filed on October 29, mentions an alleged incident in 2005 where a young individual was reportedly given a drink by a member of Diddy's team, causing disorientation. The lawsuit further claims that the situation led to inappropriate behavior before the individual lost consciousness.
Another instance, another minor, told allegedly by Sean Combs that he would make him a star, but needed to visit with him in private about it, away from his parents. Once they were in a private area, allegedly Mr. Combs made the victim perform oral sex on him. Another incident, an individual 15 years old at the time, flown to New York City to attend a party, and then taken into a private room, allegedly in the presence of Mr. Combs, where this female individual, minor, was raped, and then other individuals took turns. Another individual, 26 at the time of the occurrence, was picked up by, allegedly, by Mr. Combs and several other people in a black SUV from the airport, was given one drink in the SUV, and then literally woke up the next day not knowing what happened, but with pain and damage to both her vagina and her anus. So she then went to the hospital. She was missing her underwear and her shoes. Another instance, individual, this time not a minor, attended a group dinner, allegedly with Sean Combs in Miami. She wasn't drinking, but she was pregnant. But whatever she drank at the table, apparently, at least according to her, was laced with something. She blacked out, and she woke up in the same bed, and allegedly, Mr. Combs, in his mansion in Miami, her vagina and her anus were torn and sore.
It's known that Diddy allegedly used certain substances in his parties, leading some to suspect he may have employed similar tactics in early auditions. Gene Deal has also made statements suggesting concerning behaviors during that time, which adds to the overall picture people are now discussing.
They left people there, but they needed not one bottle. Nobody needed no baby oil. So my whole thing about it is that there was something in that other than baby. That's why they took all the bottles. And 9 times out of 10, if I would give it a wild guess, it was, and like some of the people told me, it was probably that G. It's gamma hydroxy butyric. What is its effect on the body? It's euphoria, drowsiness, increased anxiety, and memory impairment. It works on the nervous system and gives you this feeling of euphoria. So they take that and rub it on us, and you forget who you are, what you're doing. They can also give you memory loss, drowsiness, and that's under the DA enforcement administration got with it.
Judge Joe Brown, a Tennessee criminal court judge and former TV court show arbiter, has commented that some of Hollywood's most prominent figures may be involved in what he describes as a major abuse scandal, comparable to the cases of Harvey Weinstein and Jeffrey Epstein. Judge Brown noted that the ongoing allegations against Diddy suggest that even more influential names might be involved and hinted that these names could be revealed soon.
How do you feel about the situation, Diddy? Let's say this. Something else is going on. They didn't raid, they searched with a warrant his premises on the West Coast, right? They searched his premises on the East Coast in Florida, right? On the same property that the premises was located that they searched in Florida, he had a second mansion. They didn't touch that one. Why not? When they walk out of there, they got a small trash bag and they have a medium-sized cardboard box. What was it they seized that would fit into those items? I have a sneaking suspicion from my background in criminal defense that what they seized was some evidence that was very incriminating to other people. Now, after they seized the evidence, they had no probable cause to arrest him on any crime. He hasn't been indicted. They talked to him at an airport before he got on a private jet to fly to an island that has no extradition agreement with the United States. Have you heard anybody trying to prosecute him? Not at all. So what did they do? See, the feds are interesting. Who served the search warrant? Now, what the hell do they have to do with that? That's the FBI mandate.
P. Diddy, the whole thing was exposed to the music industry, right? And what's the height of the music industry? Rolling Stone? That's
They're just
they used to be the real.
They all corrupt. They had great magazine and they got hijacked by a bunch of young ones.
Well, that's what happened to Vice. I had Shane Smith on from Vice, the same thing. It's the same thing. He lost everything. Everything. Because Vice went bankrupt. He used to be my neighbor. And to see him every day.
Bankrupt over a sexual harassment?
No, sir. The ratings crashed to the floor. They went broke. It's the best example ever.
Some speculate that powerful figures might be involved in the allegations surrounding Diddy, especially considering his history of hosting high-profile guests, including past presidents and British royalty at his parties. Photos have surfaced showing both Obama and Trump attending his events. Given Diddy's own past statements about these gatherings, which allegedly included illegal activities, people are now wondering if the fallout could reach others within his circle.
Yeah, there you go, Joe. Thank you. And I just want to say how much I appreciate Puff Daddy for doing the kinds of work that he's doing, because he doesn't have to do this. But this is part of what is important about giving back.
We applaud you, and I want to apologize for not sweating, but I do this so much. I'm so cool. I just want y'all to see everybody I'm interviewing is sweating. I'm not even touching my brow. I'm so cool. And I want to apologize. I ain't trying to make you look bad or nothing like that, but I'm just so cool. We t-shirt. If he was wearing one of those fancy designer clothes he's designing, he'd be sweating just like him. Oh, yeah. Well, now when we come back, we'll talk more with Puff Daddy. If you want to hang out, if you want to stick around, my brother. All right, we'll be right back with more right after this.
No, ain't no party like a Diddy party.
Yeah, that's what's up. Yeah.
Gene Deal, Diddy's former bodyguard, has openly discussed the wide circle of high-profile people linked to Diddy over the years. He claims that major producers, politicians, actors, artists, and athletes were all part of Diddy's world. Now, however, many of them are staying silent, possibly, Deal suggests, because of what Diddy knows about them.
What he did with the kicking, the punching. They saw what they did to Cat. They know that nobody in America likes that. So now, these people are represented by a brand. Whether it's something about music, clothing, movies, they're not going to come out and speak on nothing that has anything to do with them. And they praying that they not on the tape doing crazy stuff, being oiled up in the whole 9 yards. They praying. So until the fans say, hey, yo, listen here. We got you on, hey buddy, we got you on the tape, and the girl looked like she was pretty young. we're not gonna show it, but we need you to come and testify against Brother Love, P. Diddy, Puff Daddy, John Paul. That's where they're gonna start talking, and they're not gonna be talking in this space. When the feds come to them and show them what they got on tape. Because if he had 250 tapes all over, 250 cameras all over the house, somebody got caught stealing the cookie out the cookie jar. It could be your favorite pastor. It could be your favorite politician. But they didn't think they was being watched. And Brother Love was watching.
Gene Deal has even named some of the people he personally saw around Diddy, and he claims they're concerned now, knowing that Diddy recorded everything. According to the FBI, over 400 hours of footage was reportedly recovered from Diddy's mansion, sparking talk that these recordings could potentially implicate numerous major Hollywood figures.
So, asking the question, he has the right to be kind of alarmed if he was doing things with Diddy. Remember they used to have that group called the Brat Pack? With Diddy, him, and a couple other guys was hanging out. Leonardo, one other guy too. I forgot the other guy's name. So they all might be worried. Who would come up with that? That is. That's why. That's why he made that statement. To set it up. To set up the atmosphere that, this guy's gonna lie on this. This guy ain't gonna tell the truth on this. But what we know is that wherever Diddy went, his tape recorder, his camera equipment was working. He was videotaping everything. So they might have that videotape already.
In a recent episode of the Joe Rogan podcast featuring comedian Andrew Schulz, Joe Rogan discussed the idea that Diddy may not be acting alone. He suggested that there's a possibility this situation is part of a larger cover-up aimed at recovering footage that could incriminate even more influential individuals.
Why there is no vindication for me? Because for 4 years, I've been screaming, not just Diddy, but Diddy and Jay-Z are monsters. And the victim-making issue kept going on.
Jay-Z has been notable by his silence since the charges were brought against Diddy. Why do you think that is?
Because that's what he does. He starts little fires everywhere, forces everyone involved to go and carry water while he sleeps away without a response. That change is now shown. You must respond. You have no choice. Harvey Weinstein, Jeffrey Epstein, Robert Kelly, Sean Combs have one person in common, professionally and privately. Sean Carter. This has been a fist of tyranny that has been punching through our culture and our society for decades. It must stop.
There's been obviously a lot of
free artistry.
Right, there's been a lot of rumor mill about what has happened in the rap world. A lot of allegations of misogyny in the lyrics clearly was based on a general misogyny towards women away from the music, and that clearly seems to have been borne out by these charges against Diddy, which if he's found guilty of all this, he's never coming out of prison. How dangerous do you think? How dangerous do you think he is?
I think he's one of the most dangerous people I've ever met. A lot of people have been questioning, well, she doesn't really know him. She has no knowledge of him. She doesn't have a picture of him. I'm smarter than Claudia Jordan. I would never take him to the devil. Everyone knew he was the devil. He's been the devil for 30 years. He's been covered and protected. by not only Clive Davis, but Lucian Grange. He was selected to be the demon that he is, to keep the culture in line so the industry can continue to pay for all of its precious jewels. We have too many lost. The list of lost is ridiculous, and everyone knows Diddy was selected for this job.
There are emerging suspicions about who might be involved in this situation. Jaguar Wright, Jay-Z's former backup singer, has claimed that Jay-Z was directly involved in the activities Diddy is accused of. She alleges that both Jay-Z and Beyoncé were not only aware of what was happening, but also played a role in helping Diddy exploit those individuals.
When they ask me those questions, which I found out later to be neurological questioning to make sure that you're aware and that you have some level of reason. And he's like, what's your name? How old are you? Can you tell me what happened? And I said, Puffy shot me in my face. This man testified. I testified in the criminal trial. This man testified in the criminal trial.
All Jennifer Lopez had to do was marry a white boy, Oscar winner. People to stop remembering that she had a gun in her pocketbook. She had gunshot residue on her hands the night that Natanya was shot at that club. For all we know, that bullet came from the gun that was in her gun. And not once has she spoken that woman, not once she donated to her family or for her medical bills that she's still paying, or say something in her defense to stop Puffy from gaslighting her and trying to put hits out on her because he was afraid that maybe one day they would open the case and she still had the bullet fragment in her face. Like J-Lo has said nothing. Nothing. You really thought that just running off and marrying Ben Affleck was going to take you out of the Diddy downfall? But it saved it the first time with them, because as soon as that club was over, as soon as they finished interrogating her, when she sat there and cried like a baby, I don't want to go to jail. I don't want to go. Then he was going to put her with that drunk white boy until she ran him off. Like, there are people sitting here screaming out at the toll that the atrocity Sean Combs has done to their lives, and you're trying to do your part in the story, the fact that you never spoke up. You want to tell people on the loan, put it out there that the movie was enough, was about you getting away from Puffy, but you didn't think about the trail of girls that you left behind. It happens to Cassie if J-Lo had a season. Back then. Would Cassie have ever been a victim? Answer me that. Because that situation happened in the late 90s. That situation happened before Aaliyah passed away. And Aaliyah passed away in 2001. He didn't get with Cassie until 2009, 15 years after he was with Jennifer. If she had come forward about the abuse she suffered in a relationship with Sean Combs, Cassie would never have gone through what she's gone through. J-Lo being a stand bitch is Cassie not getting punted in a fucking hallway.
Natanya is allegedly so shaken up by the encounter and sure that it was Diddy who shot her, that she is willing to have the bullet fragment in her head taken out so Diddy can be implicated in the shooting.
Supporters of Sean Diddy Combs have come forward since our interview with Natanya. If you remember to talk to her, she says that Diddy is the one who shot her at that club. And the supporters are now saying that Diddy didn't even want to detail the 1999 club shooting because he was, quote, so sure of his innocence. They also said that information from someone who is claiming things that aren't true, who's looking for a payday, instead of payday, is not going to change that. Natanya Rubin joins us once again now. Natanya, we appreciate your time again. First of all, I want to know your reaction to these people now around Diddy who are coming out in support of him, saying that he's so sure of his innocence and that that's the reason he didn't take the plea deal in the case that you were involved in where you got shot.
So first and foremost, Brian, thank you for having me back on. And I give very little credibility to what they're saying because while everyone else is Monday morning quarterbacking, I am the survivor. And
It is my assertion wholeheartedly that Mr. Combs was inappropriately charged originally. His charges should have mirrored that of Mr. Jamal Shine Barrow. He should have been charged with attempted murder, reckless endangerment, criminal possession of a weapon, and firing that weapon in an open environment.
And you bring up Shine. One of the questions that I've gotten several times since the last time we spoke to you is that people want to know whether you believe that Shine was convicted of a crime he didn't commit. He is the one who ultimately...
Absolutely not. Jamal Shine Barrow admitted on the Combat Jack podcast back in the days, rest in peace to Combat Jack, he admitted that he fired his gun and shot Julius Jones in the shoulder. Mr. Combs did not have accountability for what he did. I physically, who better to tell you what happened than the person who got shot smack dab in between my eyes?
Back then, Natanya, did you feel like they had made up their mind about who they were going to blame for this before they even talked to you? Or?
Listen, here's what I know beyond a shadow of a doubt. Respectability politics. He was a notable figure. He was a multimillionaire. He had popularity, fame, all of them, a perfect storm of you get away with it. We know the country we live in. Unfortunately, those who have the money can oftentimes get away with their crimes. Unfortunately, those who don't have the same social ranking are overlooked. And that's what has happened. By the grace of God, God saw fit to keep me whole, keep my mind sane and functioning, and keep me alive for such a time as this. And make no mistake, the gravity of the danger and the peril that I face and that I'm exposed to for having my say now, for what was done to me 24 years ago, is not lost on me. But let me make clear beyond a shadow of a doubt, I am not now, nor have I ever been. I love life, and I'm grateful that God spared my life back on a fateful day on December 27th, 1999. I'm a living miracle.
Yeah, you are
And
clearly
so,
a
if
very...
anything,
Sorry to
and
interrupt you, but you are a
I'm
very strong woman. I mean, that is very, very clear. And you have done your research, and you deserve to have your voice heard, which is one of the reasons.
And I think it's important for me to say I'm a healthy woman. I live a simple, quiet, risk-averse life. So if I should meet with an untimely demise, it would require and be worthy of deep investigation. I understand the peril of what I am exposed in my life.
Another celebrity linked to P. Diddy is his ex-girlfriend Jennifer Lopez. Looking at the timeline of their relationship, it aligns with the reported incidents of abuse attributed to Diddy during that period. They were also involved in a shooting incident in 1999 that resulted in one death and left another person, Nakin Rubin, injured. Despite both Gio and Diddy fleeing the scene, no arrests were made. Allegedly, this incident contributed to Julo's decision to end her relationship with Diddy, as it was her gun that was involved in the shooting.
What you gotta say now? What you gotta say now? You ain't got just say you put your girl on the snap.
He said he corrected this for the last and over. Oh, it is over for him. Come back to work. To being an entertainer, listen to me, man. And I don't want to bring this guy's story up because it's old. And I know he's trying to live past it, but I'm going to bring it up anyway. Ray Rice, his wife, spit in his face. And he did what he did on that elevator. He ain't played one football game after that. No one that I knew of. He may have went overseas and played or something like that. I don't know that to be true. But he didn't play in the NFL, a hell of a running back. He ain't played not one down in the NFL after that. No endorsements. Nobody wants to have anything to do with old boy. And when they come out with this other stuff, he gonna come back to work. I wouldn't be surprised if he do the ultimate sin. Because bro, he's such a narcissistic that he couldn't stand not being somewhere and not being seen. His whole life, his whole career was about him being seen in the public. It was about him, taking everybody else's dream and making them his. And now, him, nor his kid, would profit from anything from Bad Boy or Sean Puffy Combs again. His kids is gonna suffer behind it.
That's crazy. Yeah. You know what did you think?
He was talking about touching his life at the City College thing. Yo, Big Ferg, ASAP Ferg's father say, yo, man, we got to watch him, man. This nigga talking about killing himself. I said, so let him. If you're that weak, I said, let him. And you think he's doing what you said it? I said, man, listen to me, man. He ain't no good to nobody who talking about hurting himself. His life doesn't belong to him. His life belongs to God. What he should be trying to do right now is work his way towards God, for real, and not that devil you've been worshiping. That those people got him believing, you understand, that's the true God. Because everything from what I know, since I've been around him, you know, everything that's gone forward has been that of the devil. The alcohol, the partying, everything has been of the devil. And he's been leading not only himself, our people, into some kind of damnation through his actions.
Natani is reportedly deeply affected by the incident and believes that Diddy was the one who shot her. She is even willing to have the bullet fragment removed from her head in hopes that it could provide evidence to implicate Diddy in the shooting.